All right, folks, this is CJ Miller. I'm in Shreveport, Louisiana, across the Bossier City. It's right across the Red River. Come check us out in Northwest Louisiana. We'll take care of you. On this plate, I have ready to go a mild nacho cheese sauce. I've got on top of it, I've got a little bit of chili powder. That's a dark red, a little bit of a seasoning salt style steak seasoning, and a little bit of some oregano or dried oregano flakes. Let me show you why. This is an outstanding. I love it. It's a recipe that I've used before, sort of, sort of with a twist. This is your basic meatloaf. Uh, some people use milk in their meatloaf. They reduce the egg and they use milk to give a little moisture. And I actually leave the milk out and use more egg to get the moisture. And then your basic, however you want to season your meatloaf, go for it. There are a plethora of recipes out there. This is about 2.5, 3 pounds of ground at 80%. Uh, and then to that, I've added five uh, grade A large eggs because I love a really good, I just love that consistency in this meatloaf. There is about a, half a cup of crunched up croutons, and there's about half a cup of crispy fried onions, the type that you would put on your holiday casserole. So in lieu of fresh onion, which I don't necessarily like, uh, that result. I prefer it kind of gives a little bit of extra absorbency to the fluids and stuff. So I just took this out of the oven. It's going to rest here for a few minutes, and then I'm going to slice it, put it on that plate, and we'll see what it looks like. What I've done, the topping is your basic marinara topping that you would make a spaghetti with. And then on top of that, I put that into the oven and let it get a firm coating. I pulled it back out, and then I layered the medium spiced nacho cheese on top of that as a sauce that I used. And then I put that into the oven and I let that get firm. The sauce will run. Uh, yeah, that's why I have the foil to help keep it juices running from sticking to my pan too much. I've got a this coming up, and then I've got like an extra foil. So yeah, and then I took that out, and then I put another layer of the nacho cheese just to really, really get it. And I'm going to enjoy this. And this is particularly the way that I'm doing my dieting these days. I've come back from my vacation, and I really, really need to get into my ketosis through my keto diet, and how I kind of will myself into it is I do things like this that maybe they're kind of it's kind of a this is a dinner that I would do only on a day like today when I had pretty much fasted and it's time for me to end the fast. I'm still in keeping with my ketosis. I'm still going to be with under my 50 uh, 50 grams of carbs, uh, and yeah, so I'm going to be able to enjoy that. Let me pause this, slice it up, put it on the plate. Oh, when you take a meatloaf out of the oven, you want to let it rest for 10, possibly to 20 minutes if you can. And it's even going to be better the next day if it goes into the fridge because it's really going to come together. And then you can slice it and you can heat it up and make uh, meatloaf makes great leftovers, by the way. It's actually even better on the second day, but I'm not gonna wait. I've been dieting all day, like fasting. I actually did kind of a sort of a fast yesterday, light snacks throughout the day, and then I had a meal of uh, chicken, a pork chop, and a little bit of a beef, and I still have some of those leftovers. And then this is going to go with that. And then I won't have to cook for a few days also. And what's in the fridge is going to be mostly keto friendly, the meats and stuff like that. So that's gonna next few days. I'm set, man. And yeah, so let's check this out. All right, I'm sitting here at the table waiting for my diet soda to fizzle down. Okay, so think about a meatloaf. These I cut it, and these little crevices and things like that, when you actually refrigerate a meatloaf or you let it sit up long and but it's better to when it sits up and it firms up, those crevices like this, they get um, the same as a cake. They reduce. They're not as prevalent, and it's actually easier to cut. That's why you want to fully, when any sort of baking, you want to fully cool a meatloaf, especially, but you really want to cool off, say, a cake or something like that, because if you don't, you'll get fault lines, and it'll be when you cut into it, it'll fall apart. It won't hold a form. So, okay, so this is very good. Let me show you. Uh, it's a big hunkin' slice of this loaf, and it's very cheesy, and I love it. Um, the daily um, the serving, depending upon your meatloaf recipe, will change. There's less breading in here. I used a puff crouton, and then I used a crispy onion, uh, crispy fried crispy onion. Uh, and that's some of the textures that we're seeing in here. So, but mostly this is meat, and the sauces and stuff. Um, they're I try to look for things that have per serving uh, fewer and fewer carbs. You know, fewer and fewer net carbs. If you want to look at net carbs, those are the carbs that are non-fibrous. That actually those are the ones that stay in the body. And what there's total carbs. Maybe there's a type of carbs, maybe like a fiber that aids in digestion or something like that, or maybe an alcoholic sugar. Uh, those things don't, a sugar alcohol or an alcohol or sugar, that actually does not stay in the body. It passes relatively quickly. So it doesn't really add nutrient, but which is a good thing. You do need some carbs, but the net carbs are the ones that actually stay. And what happens is your body ends up using those carbs uh, as fuel instead of it's what it has stored already. Um, but if you go to a keto diet or another low carb diet and you can get into ketosis, then what happens is your organs break down the stored fat that's in your body and you know uses that as fuel. And but at the you know you want to level it. You don't want to do it so much that your body kicks over into um, a dangerous state called acidosis, as which then you're burning other types of fuel other than fats, and you're becoming emaciated in a way, you know. So we want to taste this, folks. I'm not going to kid you. Meatloaf is good. um, there's all sorts of recipes out there. I love it. Um, and if you do something like a diet and you want to maybe, you know, oh my God, I really would love a fancy uh, pastry with all sorts of swirls. If you can't have that because it's not on your diet, just add a little garnish to your plate and make it, simple, little bitty things. I love a good cheese sauce. A lot of times when I'm eating meat, I'll cut up a chunk of cheese on the side of it. Uh, Not so much for the love of cheese, although I do love cheese. It's amazing food, but you know, as a side, you could do a meatloaf like this and have a boiled egg cut in half, and then like some pretty little, uh, chips of cheese of your choice, and yeah, that's great. Yeah. Okay, Leafy greens like a good salad. If you don't need the salad dressing, a leafy salad like a lettuce, like a romaine lettuce, but without the carb uh, salad dressing, without the sugars and without the carbs and everything. That is a good way to go if you can do that. And it's basically you're going to get fibers that are good for you that help in your digestion and not the fibers that stay in your system. I take a fiber supplement. So anyway, um, God, this is good. If I wanted to, if you were doing this, say you're not on a keto diet or something like that, but if you were doing this and you wanted to do something different, then you could take your leftover meatloaf, especially of this type, and then put it into a little pot or a boiler and put more cheese into it, and then all of a sudden you've got rotel dip. Mm. Uh, I love you guys. I'm gone almost 12 minutes. I'm going to let you go. I'm going to finish my meal. Love and light. Peace. Good night.